not good that man should be alone. I really, the video addressed this a little bit, but I really want us to understand the weight of that statement. God just created, one chapter ago, God just created everything out of nothing. This incredible, beyond our imagination, God created everything. And he had a one-on-one relationship with the only man in the world. This huge God that could do anything, could create anything, did create everything, had a one-on-one relationship with this man. Nothing hindering their relationship. There was no sin in the world at this point. There was nothing between God and the man. And God called the man alone. What? No, God was with him. I'm going to have to preface this with don't kick me off the stage. But, and this isn't my idea, but when I heard it, it rang true. It seems like God made in his creation, a lot of us have heard that we have a God-shaped hole in us that only God can fill. No other person, no other relationship, no other thing, no other pleasure of this world will fill that hole. Only God will satisfy that hole. If we take this verse literally and say God is with this man who he's calling alone, it also seems like God placed in each and every one of us a human-shaped hole that God doesn't want to fill. You following me? Every one of us has a human-shaped fill that God says, I'm going to fill my hole, but you're not supposed to be alone. If you're here this morning because you heard about Lego because you like the prizes or your kids just got excited about the event, and you're not a part of a church, we don't want you to come into this church and be a part of our community because we want something from you. We want something for you. You have that hole that is not being satisfied without real community, without people that you can depend on, without people who will just give up. That's what this church is. My wife and I have only been here 10 months. This is the most generous church with time, with money, with possessions. It's not ours. It's not a time of giving when we collect offering. It's a time of bringing. Giving implies that it's ours. We just bring what God wants, that he's already blessed us with. We can't do life alone. This isn't just talking about church families either. There are marriages out there that you're trying to do life alone. You're like, what are you talking about? A marriage requires two people. That doesn't mean you're not trying to do it alone. You need to have actually three involved in that marriage. You are there to serve your partner, and you are both there to serve God. With God at the center, you and your spouse can't do life alone. And that's why you're struggling right now. Some of you are struggling right now. My guess is if you're married, you're going through some kind of struggle right now. Stop trying to do life alone. Epic Kids is the children's ministry of Covenant Life Church. Epic Kids, I have seen you guys tear each other down, make fun of one another, say, oh, I wish they're probably going to lose. And then I've also seen you encourage one another, cheer one another on, help one another. Come together as a team to whatever you're doing, whether it's worship or whether it's playing a game. I've seen both sides. And I'll ask you, if you had to have one for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? You're not going to pick being alone. You're not going to pick every man for himself, right? That is because God says it's not good for a man to be alone. I'm going to try to drive this home one other way. I need 2 kids that preferably have not even seen the Lego Movie. Do we have anybody in here that hasn't even seen Lego Movie? Do I still see a hand? Haven't seen Lego Movie. Hannah Wells. And then there's a couple of hands back here. Can I have one hand from back here? How about right on the very end? Oh, you haven't seen Lego Movie either? All right, you guys come on up here. Haven't even seen the Lego Movie. Okay. Oh, goodness. Look out, guys. Careful, careful. All right. If you guys could stand over here. All right. We're going to have a couple races, okay? The challenge is that you get to use one finger only, okay? Hannah, why don't you come over here? And what's your name? Elena. Elena? Oh, Hannah's cousin. Cousin against cousin. You guys get to use one finger to get your block into the bucket. Okay? One finger, and your finger has to be touching the block the whole time. So there's no scooting it to the edge and trying to flip it. Understand? You guys think you can do that? You guys think they can do it? All right. Let's try just a little bit. Do we have some music in the back there that we could play? Little encouragement, all right? You guys try your hardest, all right? Whoever gets it in first wins, okay? You ready? One finger. Get your fingers ready. Which one are you going to use? That one? Which one are you going to use? All right. You stand over here. You guys cheer them on, all right? Let's go. You guys are so close. You guys were so close. All right. Do you guys want to try? All right. We're going to try one more. You guys stay up here. We're going to try one more. Can you guys do it? You guys can help. All right? Use one finger, and then halfway through, you can give her a chance. How about that? All right. Ready? We're going to try one more. I'll count. How about 15 seconds? Ready? One more. 15, 14, 13, 12. Oh, just one finger. Where was I? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And all right, everybody give it a hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, can you guys take your seats? Thank you guys so much, so much. I'll get with you guys after and we'll get a little prize for you guys, okay? Everybody give them a hand. All right. I know the trick to this, so it's a little unfair. But I'm going to ask Fred to come out here with my hard hat on. All right? Fred, the goal was that whoever using one finger, you're allowed to use one, I'm allowed to use one. All right? I want you to mirror me. Whatever I do, you do. Ready? Thank you, Fred. There are some things in this life that you cannot do by yourself. Stop trying. God won't let you succeed. He said, no, that's not how I organize this thing. Sometimes you have to ask for help. It is not good for man to be alone. Saturday, we talked about Adam and Eve, even together, trying to do it alone. In chapter 3, verse 6 of Genesis, we find out that Adam and Eve tried to go their own way instead of God's way. God gave one command, one way that he was protecting them, and one way they could show their love to him. He's just said, don't eat the tree in the middle of the garden. The tree was called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Up to this point, Adam and Eve had no knowledge of evil. And God wanted it that way because God was completely perfect. God was pure. When he gives us commands, church, when he gives us this word, and we see all the rules in it, it is not about the rules that we need to follow. It is not about him being mean. Kids, when your parents give you instructions, when your parents say, no, don't do that, or you need to do that, it is for your protection. All loving parents are like that. Okay? They chose to go their own way. They chose to do life alone, and they ate from the tree. Sin entered the world. They disobeyed, and because God is perfect, that separated them from God. That separated them. And God, this was the beginning of this story. Jump several thousand years ahead, and we get to go into my second point in time on our journey through God's story this morning. While you're turning to a very familiar passage, John 3:16, I'm going to read the theme verse of this whole event. It's in John 1, verse 3. All things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made. That's talking about Jesus. Everything was made through him. Every single thing. All the things we talked about earlier, the planets, the plants, the animals, us. Not only did God create all the things we can see, but God created all the things we can't see. And he did that so that he could interact with us. Let me explain that. Each month in Epic Kids, we talk about something different. We talked about, they're called life apps. And you can't see any of them. We talk about things like endurance, friendship, love, wisdom. These are all character traits of God that he also created. And at the beginning of this month, we talked about love. And that God created love. He showed us. He was the one that came up with it. He could have done anything with his creation that he wanted to. He could have said, here you go, good luck. I created you. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. Let's see what you can do with it. But he didn't. Some of you are think that that's what God is like. Some of you think that God is a mean puppet master and he's just like putting things in your way. You've heard that God causes tragedy in order to test you. That he causes the evil in the world. Let me say right here and now that is a lie. God does not cause evil. He does not cause you to be tempted. He does not cause you to fall. We fall when we try to do life alone, when we try to do things against God like Adam and Eve. But God chose to love us. God chose to insert himself into our lives and into our world when God became a man and came to earth. And that's what John 3:16 says. God took that creation that we just talked about in the moment of time, in the beginning of time, and he placed himself. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. He came to give you life. He came to save us all. Because ever since Adam and Eve, we have all been born into this world separated from God. And he says, okay, I'm going to write out this whole story. That's what we're going through this morning. I'm going to write out this whole story to bring those people back. And that includes every single person in this room. Every single person that's watching online. Every single person that can hear my voice. They might be listening to this message 2 months from now. I'm talking to you. Every single person God chose to love. Let me focus on one tiny word in this passage. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in. The half-brother of Jesus, James, in a later book in the Bible, says that even demons believe in God. And they even tremble. They're at least aware of how powerful he is. And he basically says, so what? You got to be out of your mind to not think that there is a God, that there is a creator of all these things. Even the demons know that. But this word in means to believe into, believe, trust into. You can't just say, yes, I believe God created the world, and I even believe that Jesus came and died for sins. You got to believe that he came and died specifically for you. And you've got to trust in that truth. You've got to believe in him. So that from that moment on, you are no longer living for yourself and trying to do life alone like Adam and Eve did. That separates you from God. You got to say, God, not by my strength, but by your strength, I'm going to start to walk towards you. I'm not going to do it my way. I'm going to do it your way. This isn't just to become a Christian. This is the Christian life. The Christian life is not about getting it all right. The Christian life is not about following rules. The Christian life is about a relationship with Jesus. That is all it is. We are going to mess up. We do mess up. Goodness gracious. It is about saying, God, I just messed up, and I praise you that you saw that sin 2,000 years ago, and you chose to love me and go to the cross anyway. And so I'm going to keep walking with you. I'm going to take one more step. I'm going to trust you one more time because you are good. That's what we're singing about this morning, his love, his goodness. The third and final point in time that I want to talk to you about this morning is right now. Right now. God started his story before time even began. God started his story with the separation of us and him. And he had it all planned out. And he was waiting for the perfect time, for the perfect day to send his Son to die for us. To bring us forgiveness. To bring that relationship back together. The story continues to this day. The story is happening right now. The story is extended into your life. Do you want to be a part of it? That's what you need to ask. Do you want to be a part of it? God sent his Son for you. Which direction are you going to take? This moment, right now, is a next step in God's story. Everybody who ever encountered Jesus, when you read the Bible, everybody who ever encountered Jesus changed. Some of them said, "Oh, I like that. I like him. I want to be for him. I don't really understand everything he's saying." Don't let that stop you. I don't really understand the whole forgiveness thing. And what about the Trinity? Don't confuse it. Don't let Satan come in and make you think that you've got to understand everything. They just said, he's got something I want. I just know he loves me. All I know is he cares about me. And he proved that on the cross. Some people were attracted and they were changed because they took one step toward him. Some people said, "No, I can't handle that." They were either turned off like, there's no way that he could love me, or there's no way I'm following him because I don't want to do that. That's not how I was raised, or this is all new to me, or fill in the blank. Whatever excuse they wanted to come up with, and they took a step away from him. The whole reason for this event. My prayer for every single person, if you're a Christian, if you're not, that together we would take one step, just one, toward Jesus.
We hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. We invite you to join us for Sunday service at 10:30. On Wednesday at 7 p.m., bring the whole family for Bible study. We're located at 2326 Veterans Parkway in Jeffersonville. For further information, please visit us at mycovenantlife.org